The port city of Odesa was the site of multiple strikes on Monday as Russia stepped up attacks on Ukraine's south.
They hit a shopping center loved by Odesa residents, where people come in with children. They play there. There are restaurants, cafes, playgrounds. That's what today's second rocket hit. This is a prime example of how the occupiers bomb our land.
Odesa's mayor accuses Russia of the indiscriminate shelling of civilian areas and warns his city could become the next Mariupol, arguably the hardest hit in the conflict, if not for the fiery resistance put up by its residents.
We often say we don't live in Odesa. Odesa lives in us. I want to thank all of the civilians of Odesa for their courage. They are heroes.
Among Odesa's heroes is Daniel Salem, an actor and TV presenter turned National Guard volunteer, who on Monday took us to see another area hit by a Russian missile. Here, a mother and her 3-month-old child were among those killed last month. How does these things make you feel when you see this amount of destruction?
Angry. Angry, and the notice of that she cannot do anything about it. And the cowardness of this war.
Daniel believes the targeting of civilian infrastructure like this residential block, as well as Odesa's port, hit on Monday, is no accident.
I don't know. They knew what they were doing. That's the most horrible stuff, that people say that they're just following orders. No, they know what they're doing. It's not young boys that came to war just because some guy told them. No, they were doing this for a while, and it was horrible.
And they will continue, according to Daniel, who says he and his comrades are braced for a long war. Annalise Borges in Odesa for Euronews.
Well, in other areas of the country, Ukrainian forces are mounting successful counterattacks against Russian positions. Our correspondent Sasha Vakulina says that Kyiv is expressing optimism that the war is turning in its favour.
Today, there was Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba, who said in an interview to the Financial Times that indeed Ukraine has upgraded its war aims and is now looking to push Russian forces out of the country. Out of the country means, of course, those occupied before territories of Donbas and Crimea. Both parts were annexed in 2014. This is the first time we hear such a statement from Ukrainian authorities. Of course, it is based on the fact that Western allies keep supplying weapons, and this does not stop, particularly those heavy weapons that Ukrainian forces really needed so much for the front all over the country, trying to resist and to defend and also to go into counteroffensive against Russian forces. And when the war started, the negotiations between Ukraine and Russia also started. You remember, just 2 or 3 weeks into the war. And then we've heard from Ukrainian negotiators that they can't really go on with diplomatic solution because the diplomatic solution will depend on how the fighting goes. And now we do see that in the battle for Donbas, Russia has not taken Donbas as it claimed for the second stage of this war. And this is why these aims and the targets for Kyiv, for Ukrainian authorities, might be changing now, because with the resistance, with the defense, also with counteroffensives, and with the supplies and help by Western allies, they can see that they're not only defending and resisting where they are in the current situation, but they can also push it a little bit further. Because as of the peace talks a few weeks ago, what we heard is that Ukraine was asking Russia to go back to those borders where they were on the 23rd of February, right before this full-scale invasion.